right, now we head into our sports business just to give you the latest in regards to the sports sector. More so with the business stories and how far most teams are trading in terms of the business aspect. This is sports business and this is Smart 24 TV. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Joram Paul Sonko. www.smart24tv.com is the official website. At Smart 24 TV on YouTube. Definitely hit the subscription button. Give us your feedback in that regard. Follow us on all socials at Smart 24 TV. Right now, we start off with our local sports news here in regards to sports business, as we start from Victoria Pearls, who have lost to Namibia by 4 runs in a nail bit. Now, this was actually about 4 runs in a nail biter as Uganda's campaign at the ICC Women's Africa T20 World Cup qualifiers got off a bad start, losing by 4 runs to Namibia. Now, in a battle of the top sides in a Group B, Uganda won the battle, won the toss and chose to field first in the overcast conditions. However, the decision was backed up by the bowling, with Namibia reduced to 1 out of 2 within 2 overs. However, some lost bowling left of the Namibian ladies as they were able to recover and post a commanding 105 out of 4 in 20 overs. Now, Stephanie Nampina was the pick of the Ugandan bowlers with a 1 out of 6 out of 16 in 4 overs, with Kosi Aweko, Evelyn Anyipo and Janet Mbabazi the other wicket takers in that particular test. Now, Uganda was so slow out of the blocks, getting only 12 runs in the power play. The recovery job was done by the middle order combination of Captain Immaculate Nachisui, who's age 36, and Esther Iloku, a 22-year-old, as Ugandan dragged the game back. However, the fall of Immaculate Nachisui with over 20 runs, which required for the win, made things complicated as the tail couldn't knock over the required runs as the Victoria Pearls fell short by 4 runs. However, a very close game in the end, but left Uganda with a lot of work to do if they are to make the finals of the tournament. If they win their remaining games, they should be able to get the semi-finals, but the means they will face the top side from the other group, as Uganda is definitely set to take a rest tomorrow and will play Sierra Leone on Saturday. Right now, that is in regards to the cricket side at Victoria Pearls over there, who lost to Namibia by 4 runs in a nail biter. Definitely there in that particular regard. Now, moving on still with our local news. However, we stay in Uganda now. Has he got a brighter future as Ganalopoulos on Arthur Kaluma? Now, Arthur Kaluma was Uganda's top scorer at the just concluded FIBA Afrobasket, where the Silverbacks finished 6th in that tournament that was held in Kigali, Rwanda. The 19-year-old 6 out of 7 power forward averaged 13.2 points and 5.8 rebounds at the Continental's Premier Basketball competition. However, the Silverbacks head coach George Galanopoulos had more to say regarding that. He said, "I've never seen a 19-year-old work hard the way this kid does. He is the first one in the gym that laces up his shoes. Everybody likes to take their time. This guy is the first one out getting shots up." That is Galanopoulos said of Kaluma. Now, George Galanopoulos is the head coach of the Silverbacks, the Uganda men's basketball team. However, while Kaluma can drive to the hole with ease, he's still figuring out his outside shot, and Galanopoulos feels it's just a confidence issue. For Arthur, it's not his inability to shoot, but it's just the confidence that he knows he can make. I think that grew a little bit, and it took a lot of motivation out of him. I think you guys saw that the timeout where I was a little fired up about him passing up a 3. You know, there are different ways you can handle situations like that, but with guys like Digu, like Deng Gay, who can actually guys who in practice hit 3 after 3 after 3, but the kid has got heart and he's good at that. Kaluma will start his college career with Creighton Blue Jays in a month's time. So clearly you could see new achievements in regards to how Ugandans have fared in the just concluded Afrobasket. So big congratulations to the Ugandan team that actually concluded in the 6th in that particular competition that was held in Kigali over there in Rwanda. All right, now that brings us to the end of our local sports news. How about if we head to the international scene to see what is making headlines in that particular regard, to see how many teams are faring, where is the business in the European leagues, and where is the business in the transfers in the teams, and how are they faring, however, in those particular teams. Now, actually, we start off from the English Premier League, where Premier League is set to work to help Manchester City and Manchester United out over Brazil players. Now, Manchester City and Man United are hoping to be able to call on their Brazilian players in their upcoming matches. And as Manchester City and Manchester United could be able to select their Brazilian players for upcoming matches, after all, with the Premier League set for talks to avoid a possible ban. Now, Brazil have taken the remarkable decision to evoke a rule that means any player who did not accept their call-up for the recent international fixture are unavailable to play for their clubs in a 5-day window. As it stands, Fred will miss United's matches with Newcastle and Young Boys, while Gabriel Jesus and Ederson will be forced to sit out the trip to Leicester. However, the Premier League and its clubs have put up a united front throughout the international window, and they unanimously decided that players set to be traveling to red list countries would not be released to avoid having to be put through a 10-day quarantine period when they returned. And there was also dissatisfaction expressed that the South American football body had extended their international window in 2 days for the September and October breaks. Following the bombshell ban, the Premier League are ready to speak to FIFA and other relevant parties in order to try to find a political solution, and they are less than 3 days until City and United are back in action, but a compromise could yet be reached about these particular 3 players. Now, this actually is a move beyond the fact that the Brazilian Federation wants to actually put a 2-game ban on their players who did not feature for their countries following the World Cup qualifiers. But because clearly some of the players included Alisson Becker, including Ederson Moraes of Man City, Fred of Manchester United, who did not go and feature for Brazil. Also Richarlison. However, the Premier League actually sat down, the Premier League teams actually sat down and agreed that their players should not leave to go to the red-listed South American countries, because clearly they would actually return and have a 10-day quarantine. That is because of the guidelines by UEFA regarding the issue that the South American countries are still battling out with coronavirus. And you could clearly see, as these teams don't want their players to get contracted with the virus, which could affect the progress in their form at the club level. So as the Premier League is set to take center stage, we are likely to see these players may miss out 1 or 2 matches before they actually accepted, because the Brazilian Federation wants these players to be banned 2 matches for not appearing for their teams. Because at the end of the day, having appeared for Brazil, that meant they would also miss 2 matches for the 10-day mandatory quarantine. All right, now moving on, we head to Madrid now. We head to Spain. La Liga takes center stage as football is set to return to the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, the Santiago Bernabeu was that particular stadium that was under renovation and reconstruction by Real Madrid. Now, the Galacticos are set to go back to their stadium that they did not feature for in the just concluded 2020-2021 season, where they were the runners-up in that season. Now, the new Bernabeu is expected to generate around 1 billion in revenue. How is that? Let's take a look at this. Now, Real Madrid estimate that 100 million euros of the 570 million euros requested to build their brand new Santiago Bernabeu stadium, and another 270 million euros will be borrowed next July, and the last 200 million euros in July 2022. Shortly after that date, the new arena in the Spanish capital should be near completion in 2022, as the stadium will be finished. Now, President Florentino Perez assured club members at the AGM held on Sunday. And as you can see the stadium there, without a pandemic, and with the new stadium at full capacity, the club has forecasted an increase in its income by about 2 million euros annually. And according to Spanish outlet ABC, but for this to occur, Madrid plan to request a new loan related to rebuild at the cost of an additional 160 million euros. And in order to construct the new stadium, Madrid have requested 575 million euros for a 30-year loan at a fixed rate of 2.5%, which will mean a total cost, including interest, of 796.5 million euros. And the loan also includes a 3-year repayment period, which will see the La Liga Giants pay a fixed annual fee of 29.5 million euros from July 30th, 2023 up to until July 30th, 2049. Now, the construction of the new stadium has coincided with the global coronavirus pandemic, which, due to the absence of spectators in the stadium, may mean the club will meet its deadlines and therefore lower potential costs. Madrid estimate that the pandemic has reduced their year's expected revenue by a total of 300 million euros. The new stadium, which will be a multi-purpose facility for concerts, commercial events, and restaurant spaces, is expected to regenerate over 1 billion euros per year. Right now, you can definitely see how the main man, Florentino Perez, is actually meaning business in regards to making sure Real Madrid, the Galacticos, Hala Madrid, return to the Bernabeu. And one of the tweets that I actually saw was that Madrid returned to the Bernabeu. However, the main man who knows the stadium in Lionel Messi will not be featuring this time around for La Liga. So I think it is time for maybe Memphis Depay to actually go and haunt Real Madrid at their own stadium in Bernabeu. All right, now that brings us to the end of that particular report in regards to football business. We now head into the other stories in regards to the National Football League in the US. Now, TJ Watt is set to become the league's highest paid defensive player with 112 million deal. That is the 112 million US dollar deal. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have just made linebacker TJ Watt the richest defensive player in the National Football League with a record 112 million US dollar deal in that particular team. Now, the team signed the linebacker to the $112 million deal, 4-year extension with $80 million fully guaranteed. Now, the highest guarantee ever for a defender. Now, the contract gives Watt an average annual value of a little over $28 million and is expected to run through the 2025 season. As the outback linebacker is actually overhauled, his agents forethought they could definitely squeeze out in regards to the bigger figure from the team, and declared to Steelers president Art Rooney II that they had a deal done. If you will excuse me, that they had a deal done in that particular one. Now, the mega deal that came after a Watt participated in the full team drills that for the first time would actually see him set to the training camp and avoided mandatory daily $50,000 fines for non-attendance, but he did not participate fully in practice, instead training individually on the sidelines as his deal was being hammered out in that particular one. Now, that means he's becoming one of the highest paid defensive player with 112 million deal annually. So you could clearly see how much it means to the National Football League over there in the US. All right, now moving on, we head to another deal in regards to the US. Now, what holds out for a better deal? Now, Watt was on a 5th year option of his rookie contract, which would have been worth $10 million. By not fully participation in practice, he was compelling his squad to seal a contract. All right, now moving on, we head now to the US Open in that particular regard, as Emma Raducanu reaches US Open final in New York. Now, the British teenager Emma Raducanu reached the US Open final as her meteoric rise continued with a stunning straight set win over Greece's 17th seed Maria Sakkari in New York. Now, Raducanu, who's age 18, extended her dream run with a 6-1 to 6-4 victory in which her dominance again almost defied belief. She is the first player to reach a Grand Slam final and will play another teenage Leylah Fernandez on Saturday. Now, Raducanu is the first player in a major singles final in 44 years. And watched by Virginia Wade, the last woman to achieve the Wimbledon in 1977, Raducanu produced another fearless and ruthless victory that stunned those watching on Arthur Ashe Stadium after confidently swatting away a volley on her first match point. Now, Raducanu immediately dropped her first wicket in that particular one as after coming through 3 3 qualifying matches to reach the main draw. She has now not dropped a set in any of her 9 matches at Flushing Meadows. It's only Raducanu who is actually second Grand Slam tournament, the 4th level event of her career. Additionally, Raducanu is the youngest British Grand Slam finalist in 62 years since Christine Truman reached the French Open final aged 18 in 1959. Now the first British woman to reach a US Open final in 53 years, following Wade in 1968. Now, given the one-sided nature of the victory against Sakkari and those before it, Raducanu will not be phased out by this particular similar occasion. All right, now that brings us to the end of our sports business here on Smart 24 TV. I'm Joram Paul Sonko, and our particular weekend, and we are heading into a fixed weekend where we are going to see a number of Premier League matches from the French League down to the Italian Serie A, the English Premier League, La Liga, as well as other top leagues in the European continent as well. Now, at TIFF, all eyes will be set at Old Trafford as Cristiano Ronaldo homecoming game against Newcastle will be the eye in the English Premier League to see how CR7 will definitely be faring in that particular aspect. And also, they do wait and see whether the Portuguese captain will be firing in those goals. He's 36 now, but however, he's also expected to be the top scorer of this season, but he will face intense competition from the likes of Romelu Lukaku, the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and the likes of Mohamed Salah, as well as the current top scorer Harry Kane, who is there to defend his particular boot. So one of the biggest matches that will be Manchester United taking on Newcastle at Old Trafford, that is in the city of Manchester. And the other match, which is not big, but however, that will actually be an eye-catching one, will definitely be the battle for the relegation spot, that is between Arsenal and Norwich City, that will be at the Emirates. Will Arsenal defeat Norwich in that game where both teams are actually Norwich and Arsenal at 19th and 20th respectively, with all the 3 teams having lost their first 3 opening matches? Clearly, it will be an eye-catching match, and we'll definitely see, as Arsenal has actually seen the recoveries of Thomas Partey, Ben White, who will also be expected to feature for these particular ones, as of course the English Premier League takes center stage to match day 4. The French League 1 is heading into match day 5, the Spanish La Liga match day 3, Italian Serie A match day 3 as well. The La Liga is taking match day 4 rather. So you can clearly see, as also Antonio Griezmann will be making his debut for Atletico Madrid following his return from FC Barcelona. He's on loan with a potential buyout clause that will see him leave Barcelona if at all Atletico Madrid will be interested in him, and they will have to pay £40 million at the end of the season to secure his services. So clearly, will we also be seeing the dream forward, the dream trio of Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and Neymar at PSG? We still await and see, because this weekend is also fully packed with football, and that is the return of league football at the European continent. So clearly, get your eyes set and get ready to get your popcorns and your tweets as well. To those actually dealing in the betting, I think it's high time you started tossing out the money to clearly see that you get something out of it. All right. Now that brings us to the end of our sports business here on Smart 24 TV. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter at Joram Paul Sonko, even on Instagram at Joram Paul Sonko. www.smart24tv.com is the official website. You can definitely follow us there. If you want to drive your businesses with us, find us at Commercial Road, Naguru, plot 29A here, and you bring your business as well as your services so that we can definitely advertise for your customers. Definitely there. Hit the subscription button if you're watching and you are streaming live on YouTube. And we do say thank you, and we appreciate for all those viewers that we do have here on Smart 24. All right, now we take a short break. I return with the news hour, basically heading out to the international scene to see what is making headlines in regards to the business stories there. Keep it SMB, and this is Smart 24 TV, where we definitely drive your businesses.